Words, facial expressions, mannerisms. They can all be deceptive and not tell the full story. But look deep into someone's eyes, and there lies the truth of who a person really is. The face is an expression of one's mind, with the eyes the interpreter. Look deep into the eyes of Brayd Smith. What do you see? Determination, passion, hunger, and the list goes on. Like a shark in the deep water, eyes fixated on its prey. Brayd the Great White Smith is a young man who knows what he wants in life. In the ring, his eyes tell the story of a champion in the making. Outside the ring, they symbolise a young man who wants to be remembered as a champion person.
One of my big ambitions in this sport and in life is, I love boxing and I love the people in it, and I've met so many friends, but unfortunately, especially in Australia, boxing sometimes gets a bad rap, and I would love to, be able to go some ways to change the perception of how the sport is seen in this country.
Between the ropes, thus far, he's perfect. 11-0, 9 knockouts, a WBF Asia Pacific Youth title, and a WBC Youth Silver Belt. The man guiding the journey, his father and trainer-manager, Brendan.
Very, very mentally strong, very focused, and one of the best young blokes I've ever had to train, and that's not because he's my son. We work together every day, and it's so enjoyable to work with him, and he's so above in the mind, above his age and experience, and that's a great thing for what's coming down the track.
Boxing is a tradition in the Smith family. Brendan himself was a former amateur boxer, as was his brother Shane and his father Bradley. Even sister Tressa, a world-class marathon runner, successfully turned her hand to boxing. Tressa also plays a big role in Brayd's training as his running and strength and conditioning coach. Brayd is the third generation from the renowned Darling Downs Smith family. Ironically, Brendan never wanted his son to pursue boxing as a child. Instead, he encouraged him towards playing as many junior sports as possible.
I said, look, when we get to 18-year-old, if this is something you want to do, then we'll relook at it then. I was never that keen on him. This is the toughest sport in the world, and it's the most dangerous sport in the world. And it was, I never really wanted him to do it, but when he got to that age and he's a young man and that's what he selected to do, I'm right behind him.
Of course, the moment he turned 18, Brayd made it clear, yes, I want to fight. But there were some strict conditions placed upon him.
There was a couple of things that we agreed on early, and that was for the school marks university to stay up and no alcohol. And he said, well, I don't really drink anyway, so that's easy, and the marks have been flying. So they were what we agreed on at the start with that, and he's done nothing but amazing with it from there.
Away from the ring, Brayd is in the final year of his law degree at the University of Southern Queensland. It's an important balance between study and sport.
It's a good way for me to balance it out. It takes my mind off boxing, and I guess boxing does the same for the stress of studies. I know a lot of students, a lot of my friends get really stressed out with assignments when they're coming up, but I guess when you're going into the gym, it's a great stress release and it's a great way to take your mind off that. So they balance each other out really well.
The Great White had a small amateur career, but picked up 10 titles in a 15-fight career. As a pro, he's blossomed and marked himself as one of world boxing's next big things. With success comes opportunity, and Brayd Smith has received a royal reward, an invite to become the first boxer to compete on the prestigious King's Cup Muay Thai card in Thailand.
This is as big as a state of origin because this is a Super 8 tournament of the world's best Muay Thai fighters, and a special guest appearing on the show is the Great White Brayd Smith. So it's such an honour to us, and we can't thank Songchai Promotions enough to inviting us to their show. We're going to fight for Australia, we're going to fight for Thailand, and we're really proud to be a part of their show.
The King's Cup is staged annually in Bangkok to celebrate the King's birthday, and it attracts anywhere from 100,000 to 300,000 patrons.
Toowoomba is 150,000 roughly population, so those numbers, that is the whole city in one spot to watch one fight show. It's, I can't imagine it.
Actually, one of the biggest events of the year, it's our King's birthday, so Thai people always have the biggest festival, the biggest event in Thailand during the King's birthday, so it's a very big deal and a very precious club.
Over a 10-year period, Brendan Smith has forged a strong relationship with the promoters of the King's Cup, One Songchai Promotions, which is one of the biggest promotional companies in the world. In particular, the legendary Mr. Songchai and his children Sirapop and Pariakorn, who are also heavily involved in the running of One Songchai Promotions.
It's probably a 12-year relationship I've had, and they're wonderful people. We became great friends, and they're amazing promoters.
After 2 years of discussions, everything was in place. The Great White had his spot on the King's Cup card, Brendan Smith had all of the training and sparring partners organised, Thailand-based events coordinator Stan Curran had all of the travel arrangements in place. All that was left, a final week of training in Toowoomba, then next stop, Chonburi, Thailand. 7 days out before boarding the plane for Thailand, there is still plenty to do. It's one of the most important weeks of preparation, and twice a day, Brayd Smith makes the 20-minute trek from his home at Gowrie Mountain into Smithy's gym for training.
I'm sore, I'm tired, my body's aching. So this drive into training, every boxer will tell you it's a way to get in your head, pump yourself up. I guess you can focus on what's coming.
Walk away, don't leave me cold. No last goodbye, like days of old.
So many sponsors and supporters have rallied behind Smith and his journey to the King's Cup. The day before departure, the Great White drops in to say a final farewell to a number of those great supporters.
Whether they know it or not, it means so much to me that they're behind me and that they're helping me out with this. I guess they'll never know how much it really means. So, the least I can do is drop down and say thank you.
From Thor Valmer and the team at the Vault on Ruthven,
Thank you very much. Yeah, no dramas, buddy.
to Craig Rigby from Car and Commercial,
Thank you very much. Good luck, mate.
Les Cowell from Reedy Creek Recycling, Chris Sheath from Chris Sheath and Associates, and Rob Weymouth from Hutchinson's Builders. Weymouth, who is the area manager of Hutchies, is an avid boxing fan, but also a sports lover, and as Brayd Smith found out firsthand, a competitor.
So you're up for a bit of a challenge?
I'm in.
Challenge?
Yep.
Okay. So the only thing for me is that because I can't be in Thailand with you, I'd love to be there. My thoughts will be with you. But mate, if I do happen to beat you on the pinball machine, how about you sign your shirt you've got on there and take it off and give it to me, and I can keep it as a memento.
All right, keen. Up for the challenge, yep.
You up for the challenge? Righto.
Done.
My heart it pounds, wait for a beat to break to leaving this town. Heaven knows the road I'm taking.
How am I going? 7.5. You got nothing else. 23. I'm going to get that shirt.
Be waiting. Don't be waiting. Don't be
Very much.
Thanks, mate.
Anyone got a spare shirt in the car?
Even with one less shirt, the next stop for Smith and his team is the Brisbane airport. The destination, a 9.5-hour flight to Bangkok, followed by a 2-hour drive to Chonburi, and Chonburi will be home for the next week and a half. Day one in Thailand, and the team encounters its first major roadblock. Braydon's opponent, Zon Rindam, is ruled out of the fight as a result of urgent army duties in his home country. After a 24-hour search, Indonesia's Anshuri Pichale has been secured for the December 5 showdown.
So last night at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, we finally got the other opponent sitting there in the blue. He's a former PABA champion. He's fought a couple of world champions. But yeah, that's what time we finished last night. Anyway, that's boxing. We seem to be always, you have these things pop up. So, but the good part, Brayd's focused. He's not worried, and we had a look at the sky last night.
Despite a sleepless night, Brendan Smith has a morning meeting with One Songchai Promotions in Bangkok. Smith is joined by one of his colleagues and one of the biggest matchmakers in Asia, Takashi Ayashima. Between Smith, Takashi and Siropop and Mr. Songchai, all the final details are locked in.
It's an honor for Braydon to join this King's Cup event. It is the biggest promotion of the year, and we wish him the best. Good luck, and thank you for joining us.
The other big news to emerge from the meeting is an invitation extended to James O'Shea, Brendan Smith's ring announcer from Toowoomba, to ring announce Braydon's bout on the card. From business meetings, it's now time to get down to business, but this time in the gym. The big fight is 11 days away, and not only does Braydon Smith have to condition his body for battle, but also for the conditions. In typical Thailand fashion, it's hot and it's humid. Back home, Smith drives into training, but over here the mode of transport is by foot. Flanked by training partners and fellow boxers Gareth Pryor and Joel Stour, as well as his trainer and father Brendan and sponsor and cutman John Geiger, the team arrives for their first session at Team Nikiyama Gym, run by former 3-time Muay Thai world champion Stefan Black Diesel Nikiyama. Nikiyama from France, but based out of Thailand, himself fought twice on the King's Cup card. His crowning glory, winning his third Muay Thai world title at the 1998 event. Nikiyama's name is well known in Australia after he scored a round 2 knockout win over Paul Briggs on the Gold Coast in 1996. At the conclusion of his career, he turned to training. Among his pupils has been Hollywood megastar Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Very nice, he speaks French, everybody say, hey, no, normal, very good man, very nice man, very strong.
The Frenchman watches Braydon Smith closely and is tipping big things in the future for the Toowoomba boxer.
Step by step, I think he can fight with a very nice guy, number 1, number 2, number 3. I think in 2 years he can take for IBF, he can fight for World Championship.
Joining the team in camp as chief sparring partner is Cheong King Kong Sith Saithong. King Kong is based in Thailand and has fought bouts in Australia before, including a fight against Jack Assis in Toowoomba. King Kong and Smith box a solid 10 rounds together.
A very good Thai fighter, so we've been straight in doing some tough, hard rounds with him, getting used to the heat, getting used to the grueling conditions, preparing for next Friday night.
As the clock gets close to midnight, it's been a huge first day for the team. Their last duty, some quiet time to touch base with home, check up on business, while others simply ducked and weaved the whole thing. As the sun rises, so does the team ready for another day of preparation. The beach run in the morning, sparring, bag work and pad work in the afternoon. The fight is drawing closer, and Braydon Smith is getting hungrier. His king-size challenge is now less than a week away, but that royal reward awaits at the end.
I was fit before I came here, but dealing with his heat is, it's another level of fitness. The guy I'm fighting from Indonesia, he's used to these sort of conditions. Indonesia is very hot and humid as well, so he's got that on his side. And whereas we got to adapt to it and deal with it, but we are adapting to it and we are dealing with it. By next Friday night, I'm going to be 100%.
It's a small-knit team, but everyone has their role to play. John Geiger, who runs the Geiger Group back in Toowoomba, works each day in the gym with the boxers and behind the scenes on studying film on opponents with Brendan Smith. John plays a huge role within the Smithies gym team all year round. His role in time has grown from the corporate box to the box seat. He started as a sponsor and now has evolved into one of Brendan Smith's most trusted cornermen, cutmen and assistant trainers.
It's a great thrill for me to see these guys come all the way from Toowoomba to support me and to share these experiences with them. It means a lot to me.
Another vital member of the team is Stan Curran. Curran has played the role of events coordinator. He's no stranger to Thailand, having lived here for the past 2 years, and he's certainly no stranger to fight camps, having travelled all over the world with Michael Katsidis and Brendan Smith for a number of years. After 3 consecutive days of hard training and hard running, Curran has something special in store for Braydon and the boys this morning. A mountain run. From Beach Road, through the famous walking street, and up the mountain. It's a heavy populated area, so a police escort is in tow with the crew. 40-degree heat, 15.5 kilometres, and about 75% of the run is an incline. A real test of stamina, but also mental toughness. But in some ways, the view when you reach the top is well worth the journey.
We started all the way over.
The Yellow Hotel?
Yeah, where it first juts out.
After some free time at the top, it's time to head back to home base. But along the way, the crew stumbles across a gym. A no-frills gym at that. No air conditioning, not even a roof, walls, simply open air. No fancy weights, no fancy equipment, instead basic boulders, rock and pieces of concrete. A workout like that certainly works up the appetite. And the dinner venue, a familiar one. The small Chonburi restaurant run by Tong and Lek and their children. Tong and Lek have become like family to Brendan Smith after meeting more than 15 years ago.
On behalf of myself and everyone, I want to thank the best chef in Thailand and Lek, Tom, Bill, Bella and Blue. Yeah, thank you very much. They treat us like family here. They look after us every night we eat here. So thank you very much for your hospitality and being our friends. So I'll give this to you, Tom. Thank you very much.
They've watched Braydon Smith grow from a young boy into a champion boxer.
He's a very small boy, yeah. Small boy
before.
Tong and Lek might prove to be a good luck charm for Braydon come fight night. They've had many boxers come through their restaurant, among them fellow Australian and former 2-time world champion Michael Katsidis.
You know, many times when you come here, some people born fighting come my restaurant and always win. Really.
It's been one whole week in Thailand and Smith is starting to feel right at home, even dropping into one of the taxi drivers' lofts to watch some local television. On their return to the hotel, they are greeted by 2 more members from back home who've just arrived, James O'Shea and Tom Lunny.
Hey, welcome!
Smith is a long way from Gowrie Mountain, but there's plenty of home with him in Thailand. After 7 big days of training, today is declared a day off. Fun and games quickly turns into serious competition.
This is the Palm Garden Olympics. In lane 1 here we have Stan, the Croatian kid. He's a rank outsider, 100 to 1 to win. Big boss from Bowen, Gary Pryor. Very nice. Big boss. He's the tallest man in the field, and considering it's only a 15-metre race, I reckon he'd probably win it underwater. We'll have him $1.05.
Boxers, trainers, managers, support staff are all in. And despite some minor protests, Gareth Pryor, another up-and-coming boxer preparing for his professional debut, is declared the victor. The day off is complete with a trip to a local arcade, where one machine in particular proves a knockout with the team.
So it's not the strength, it's the speed, you know. The best speed you get if you hit on this point.
Joel Stour declared the king of the ring. Now it's fight week, and it's the crew's last day in Chonburi before heading to Bangkok in the morning. The venue for a final hit-out, the world-famous and multi-million-dollar Fairtech Sports Club and Hotel. It's the home of some of the greatest Muay Thai champions of all time. Presently, the gym's #1 fighter is Yodson Klai, a 4-time world champion who has fought all over Asia, Australasia, Europe and America. To put it in boxing terms, he's like the Floyd Mayweather of Muay Thai. His nicknames say it all: the Hero and the Muay Thai Boxing Computer, a title given to him by journalists based on his perfect fighting technique.
Superstar camp over like 300 fights, and he fight all over the world, and then he's been undefeated for the past 2-3 years now.
Yodson Klai is a former 2-time King's Cup winner, and Brayd Smith is only too happy to meet, greet and learn more from the famous Thai hero. Yodson Klai staying on to watch the WBC Youth Silver Champ go through his paces for the final major hit-out for the fight. In the background, fellow boxers Joel Stour, an up-and-coming heavyweight from Toowoomba, and Gareth Pryor continue to work under the watchful eye of Gareth's father Gary and John Geiger. While neither have a King's Cup around the corner, both are prepping for big 2015s. The fight is now just 4 days away, and the scars of a grueling training camp are starting to show. Smith is nursing a swollen and sore right hand and severe blistering on his foot. However, none of it is bad enough to concern the camp, and it's full steam ahead.
It's all part and parcel with the training, I think. You know, the little niggling injuries, it wouldn't be a training camp without it. I think it's just a sign to know that you've done the work.
Next stop, Bangkok.
It's fight mode now, fight week. A couple of days till fight time, so I'm so excited to go from training camp to fight camp into Bangkok and get ready for Friday night.
Bangkok, the capital of Thailand, a population of 8 million. Quiet by morning and a different story by night. The King's birthday celebrations are in full swing. Brayd Smith and his team decide to head to the King's Palace Fields, the venue of his big fight in 3 days' time. What confronts them is a sea of people and activity, all in honour of the King. Displays, shows and fireworks take place continuously all night long. The elephants capture the attention of the Great White more than anything.
Unbelievable. Australian media training in elephants. It's an unbelievable part of the world.
How can you not take up the opportunity to feed these huge yet placid beasts, who happily pose for photos, and some even take the opportunity to show off? Tonight is the perfect introduction into what Bangkok is during the week of the King's birthday. Today is a big occasion for Brayd Smith, the official press conference for the King's Cup card to be held downtown Bangkok, 23 floors in the air. The team quickly learns about the hustle and bustle of Bangkok life, the taxi ride taking more than an hour.
I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit nervous. The promoters have asked me to bring my fight gear, my trunks and boots, and we're off to the press conference, so apparently they do things a little bit different here, and the fighters stand behind the business people in the press conference, so it should be interesting, but I'm a bit more nervous for this than the fight, I think.
On arrival, the team witnesses a crowd of hundreds: fighters, trainers, promoters and press. Among the crowd, one man stands out, Mr. Song Chai. The camera flashes flicker away with his every movement. Smith joins all of the other King's Cup fighters on the stage for the press conference. For the boys from Toowoomba, it's quite a cultural experience. Thai, Chinese, Italian and English speeches are given.
A big thank you very much. We really look forward to this show. It's a special opportunity to us.
With travel included, it's been a 5-hour expedition for the team. It's time to quickly recharge the batteries, and at night it's back to the fight venue for an important workout as Braydon begins every boxer's least favourite part of the preparation, cutting weight. After working their way through the crowds, Smith jumps into the very ring he will go into battle on Friday night. It's nearly 40 degrees. A majority of his team are in singlets and shorts, but the Great White is decked out in his sweatsuit. The perspiration flies and the Great White gets that all too familiar steely look in his eyes. That look of a great white hunting its prey in the deep waters. You can tell fight night is looming. the Great White earning a few more fans in the process.
I think he win. Good luck.
With one day until the big fight, again Braydon has a lot to deal with. Not only cutting weight, but plenty of media commitments. His opponent, Ansuri Pichale, has arrived in Bangkok, fit, hard, and extremely confident of victory. The duo meet face to face for the first time at the media weigh-in.
It's a real honour for us from Toowoomba, Queensland, Australia, to be here at this great event.
Again, it's a sea of people, and in the background of the media weigh-in, one of the many supporting boxing and Muay Thai cards that take place in the lead-up to the King's Cup. After photos and interviews, Smith retreats back to the rooftop of the hotel to continue to waist down to fight weight. Some more members of the Great White's entourage have arrived in Bangkok. Toowoomba accountant Craig Coetzee has thrown his support behind Braydon Smith with a sponsorship donation. Coetzee has made it a stopover for his annual boys trip.
Been following Braydon probably for, like I said, 3 years, and obviously watched him come up through the ranks. And now that they're really trying to step him up into a few of the bigger fights, we thought it'd be a good opportunity to get a boys trip in for the weekend, and obviously show us the local support to Braydon.
Brayd has successfully reached the featherweight limit, and it's off to the weigh-in. It's a weigh-in with a difference. Where else but in one of the busiest streets of Bangkok. Surrounded by hundreds of people, Brayd happily poses for photos and videos. Behind the smiles and laughs are two emotions. One, relief. All that's left now is to fight. And two, hunger. Literally. After 24 hours cutting weight, it's time for his traditional post-weigh-in dinner. Again flanked by his supporters, Brayd refuels the body, and along the way, the chance for some more reflection. As each member talks, it fills Smith with more confidence and more belief. Listening to everyone's recollections of the trip so far, it gives him his own chance to reflect on the opportunity that awaits him tomorrow evening.
It is a really great trip, a great crew, it's been a great week.
It's fight day and Brayd has his set routines, but this fight day has a difference. He's a long way from home. That separation gives him time to think. The enormity of the situation dawns upon him, and he lights up thinking and remembering of all those people back home who've helped his journey, family and friends and sponsors. And it's the sponsors that have made this trip a reality. Back home, Thor Valmer and the crew from the Vault on Ruthven are preparing for a busy Friday night of trade. Chris Sheath and his staff at Chris Sheath and Associates are wrapping up another busy week. It's a similar story at the Geiger Group, Curran Commercial, Hutchinson Builders, Reedy Creek Recycling and Sovereign Property Partners. While concentrating on their own lines of work, they too take their time to text or phone Brayd and send their well wishes. For Smith himself, that gives him extra motivation. He doesn't want to let anyone down who has presented him with this chance to be crowned King of the Ring on Thailand's biggest stage. Emotions run high again as Smith is shown over 100 video messages that have been collated from family and friends back home, a gesture arranged by his younger brother Tanner. With all of that emotion behind him, it's time to fight. Smith and his large crew make their way to the venue. For the last 3 days, they've walked through these busy streets, but today it's different. Today is the King's actual birthday, and everywhere you look, it's a sea of yellow. The footpaths are 10 deep with people. Brayd and his team need an escort to make their way through the crowd to get to the fight venue. The boy from Gowrie Mountain is just hours away from making history, or so it would seem. The team is hit with a hurdle. After being initially told they would fight at 8 PM after a candlelighting ceremony, instead they're told to be ready in 15 minutes. Proudly walking with Thailand and Australian flags into the ring, Brayd Smith's moment is now. Opposite him is an Indonesian opponent confident of winning by knockout. Around him is over 100,000 people. It's standing room only. But in the ring, it's just Braydon Smith and Ansuri Pichale. Everything else is irrelevant. Picholet promised a knockout, and from the opening bell he marches forward. Smith maintaining a measured approach, defending and counter-punching. With one round in the books, it's obvious this is a victory Smith will have to work hard for. The sound of the bell for round 2 also lifted a signal in intensity. Smith and Picholet happy to trade. The momentum shifts dramatically in this round. The Indonesian, who was always on the front foot in round 1, starts going backwards. Right hands, body shots, combinations all take their toll. You can see the hunger in Picholet's eyes fading, while the Great White smells blood. Round 2, a resounding one in Brayd Smith's favour. The countless blows having a marked effect on Picholet. He quits on his stool, unable to answer the bell for round 3. Win at number 12 now goes on to Brayd Smith's record. It's just one win, but arguably his biggest and most certainly on the biggest stage. Post-fight he is embraced by leading Thai boxing and government officials. There is no doubt when he arrived, the Great White was an Australian fighting in Thailand. Now he's been adopted as one of Thailand's. The candle lighting ceremony, which was originally scheduled to take place prior to Brayd's bout, ends up happening straight after the fight. Everyone in the venue stops, lights a candle, and honours the king on his birthday. A weight has been lifted, the job has been done, making for an enjoyable walk back to the hotel. After a whirlwind trip, it's time to say farewell and head back home after 2 weeks in Thailand. History books have been rewritten. Forever, Brayd Smith will be the first boxer to ever compete on the prestigious King's Cup card. It's been a humbling experience to be immersed in the Thai culture during their biggest week of celebrations honouring the king. To working with a man who is one of the most respected in Thailand. To competing on a stage witnessed by millions on television and over 100,000 in person. It's been life-changing. Look back into the eyes of Brayd Smith. Again, you still see that determination, passion and hunger. But now you can also see the look of contentment and a sense of achievement. You can look back on the journey from sponsors willing to back his trek to Thailand, pre-training out of Smithy's gym, training along the beaches of Chonburi and the busy streets of Bangkok, to having his hand raised at the King's Cup. The king-size challenge has been conquered, and Brayd Smith has his royal reward.
reasons why. You've got something that I need.